I thought long and hard about this over the last few hours because I had no intentions, Molly, of talking about this at all. Clearly took exception to some of the things that he heard me say, and he confronted me about it.
Floyd's broke. You got to understand, the only thing more embellished than Floyd Mayweather's pay-per-view numbers is Floyd Mayweather's net worth, and he made a lot of money. But remember this, it does not matter what you made, it matters what you kept, and he is a dumb.
I believe that Floyd Mayweather has gone completely broke. And not just broke, but millions and millions of dollars in debt. And I know this sounds crazy to some of you out there, but trust me, I have legitimate proof.
Stephen A. Smith is calling out Floyd Mayweather over his recent claim that he bought 62 buildings for $42 million. According to reports, Floyd doesn't actually own those properties outright. He only holds small shares in them. Now, Stephen's questioning whether Floyd made the whole story up to distract from rumors that he's broke or possibly involved in a $42 million scam.
Into my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong to me.
Stephen A. Smith has always shown respect for Floyd Mayweather. He's often praised Floyd's boxing career, especially how he managed to stay undefeated in the later years. Smith highlights Floyd's discipline, defensive skills, and flawless record as signs of his greatness. In his eyes, Floyd wasn't just a champion. He was a smart and calculated fighter who knew how to win and never lose. That level of control and success earned him serious respect from fans and analysts alike.
Mayweather was undefeated for the last half of his career with one hand. He constantly broke his hand.
Yeah.
He would go into a ring knowing he had no shot at knocking somebody out because his hands were hurt too much, and literally walked in the ring and said, I'm going to embarrass you and humiliate you by showing the world you can't hit me.
But things started to change when Mayweather stepped into a new phase: exhibition fights after retirement. Instead of adding to his legacy, it looked like he was just chasing paydays. His fight with Logan Paul made that obvious. Stephen A. didn't sugarcoat it, criticizing the match for lacking any real competition. Logan, a YouTuber who dabbles in boxing, wasn't a legit threat. For someone like Mayweather, once seen as boxing royalty, taking that fight came off more like a cash grab than a show of true skill.
Boxes, if not the greatest boxer in history. He's absolutely sensational. But he retired years ago, and for me personally, I know these exhibition matches are entertaining. I like the one with Conor McGregor, not so much the one with Logan Paul. Looking at these exhibitions and all of that stuff, that little melee and stuff don't matter to me. As far as I'm concerned, it could have potentially been orchestrated. I don't know. But I do know not just anybody should be allowed to be in the ring with Floyd Money Mayweather.
Absolutely.
I just believe.
Stephen A. didn't just criticize the Logan Paul fight. He's spoken out multiple times about Floyd's whole exhibition strategy. While he understood the appeal of fighting Conor McGregor, since McGregor comes from a combat sports background, he felt things went downhill after that. Floyd started picking low-tier opponents just to collect easy paychecks. In Stephen's view, that move was damaging the legacy Floyd worked so hard to build. It looked like making money had become more important than protecting his place in boxing history. To Stephen A., the message was simple: money was now the main focus, not greatness.
Here's what I do know, which is where my disappointment comes from. When you are as great as Floyd Money Mayweather, everybody doesn't deserve to be in your space. I know you like to make money. You're never going to stop making money. Very, very few people on the planet know how to make money like you know how to make money. But some of this stuff has got to stop. You want to get Conor McGregor in the ring for an exhibition match? All right, that's fine. You know, Conor sold that. It was great marketing. He's not a boxer, but hey, he was a knockout artist in the UFC. I get it.
This was made even clearer during one straight-up interview where Stephen A. asked Mayweather point-blank, "What matters more, your money or your legacy?" It was a question meant to make Floyd think, but instead, he kept shifting the focus back to money. He went on about his business skills and how much he's earned. But to Stephen A. And plenty of fans, it came across like Floyd was picking money over the kind of lasting respect that defines a real legacy.
You made money. You're gonna make a hell of a lot more money.
But the main thing is I made smart investments and I still make millions every month.
Do you care about your boxing legacy?
More than what?
Well, we ain't gonna say more than money. We know better. We're not gonna say more than money. We know better.
More than my family? No. So what's more important? My children. Because when I make this money, you know what? I put my children and my family in a position that they are entrepreneurs. They are bosses. I don't want my kids to have to answer to nobody. So I will take the long road. I will take the bumps and the bruises for them, but for my loved ones.
But fear.
This money-first image has had a real impact on the next generation of athletes. According to Stephen A., young fighters today aren't inspired by Floyd's skill, movement, or ring smarts. They're more interested in his riches, flashy lifestyle, and fame. And that, to Smith, is a serious issue. It shifts the focus away from developing true talent and puts all the attention on getting paid. In his eyes, that mindset completely goes against what Floyd used to stand for in the sport.
It's the businessman in Mayweather they actually love even more. As the sun clearly set on the boxing career of Mayweather, many can reflect on a lot of things about the man. He wasn't a Mike Tyson-like knockout artist, or even Tommy the Hitman Hearns. To many, he wasn't even Sugar Ray Leonard. He certainly can't be confused with Muhammad Ali or any other fighter who's ever been socially conscious. No doubt he was guilty of domestic violence, as our very own The Undefeated accurately pointed out. He definitely had his share of boring fights that didn't give the people what they actually wanted to see. But that ain't the legacy these athletes are paying attention to. What they're paying attention to instead is the $1 billion plus Mayweather has earned in his career. How box office he made himself. How he's been his own boss, answerable to no commissioner, no owner, no GMs, and barely even the fans for the last decade in achieving unprecedented wealth, fame, and control of his own name, his own brand. And how despite strenuous efforts by so many to bring him down, they simply weren't able to do it. You want to see an athlete drool? The idolized displaying deference and respect? Watch.
The shift became crystal clear when Floyd was asked why he picked Logan Paul over someone like Tyson Fury. His response: Logan had more followers. That was the whole reason. No talk about skill, competition, or legacy. Just social media numbers. For a lot of people, including Stephen A., that moment said it all. Mayweather wasn't in the ring for the challenge or to cement his legacy anymore. He was doing it for attention and a paycheck.
Why fight Logan Paul?
Name another boxer besides myself that's more famous than Logan Paul.
Tyson Fury?
What? I want you to look up Tyson Fury, how many followers, and look up how many followers Logan Paul has.
Logan Paul, 56 million. Tyson Fury, 4 million.
So 50 compared to 4 something. I can fight a fighter right now, guarantee myself 35 million. Or me and Logan Paul can go out and entertain and have fun and make 100 million or more. So if you were me, you gotta look at 35 million for 12 rounds and 100 for 6 rounds. Big difference.
Floyd Mayweather used to be the highest paid athlete on the planet, not just in boxing, but in all of sports. That status brought him a lot of respect. But now, with new rumors and reports coming out about his finances, that image is starting to crack. The same guy once praised for being smart with his money and disciplined in his career is now facing questions about whether the fortune he constantly talks about is as real as he claims.
Floyd Mayweather, the highest paid athlete, not the highest paid boxer, the highest paid athlete in the world. I had the opportunity and pleasure to be around him for many years. I was his personal shopper. I was a personal friend of his family. One of my greatest memories of being just lucky enough to even be around that environment was watching him train. Watching Floyd Mayweather train is a masterclass in discipline. It is a masterclass in work ethic. It is a masterclass in this is how you execute and get stuff done. Every rep, he hits it hard. There's not one lazy rep. He does everything at such a high frequency, so elevated. I'm like, goodness gracious, watching this man train, it's like, that's how I want to train for life. I've been to the club with Floyd where we leave in the club 3, 4 in the morning and he's still going to hit his 6 miles. He'll have all the cars follow him and he's running down the Las Vegas Strip, down Back Street.
For years, Mayweather has flaunted his wealth, with one of the most famous moments being his $1.8 million watch, an extravagant display that even amazed other celebrities. From Bugattis to private jets, his lifestyle was all about living large. But now, those same flashy displays are being scrutinized more closely.
How much is it?
$1.8 million.
$1.8 million watch.
$1.8 million, dude?
You're the first to see it.
That's insane. That
1.8 is high. 18 life.
happy birthday, champ.
That's how we doing.
That is sick, dude.
But you gotta show him what he say.
Money green.
No,
Hold on. This watch was made specifically for the champ, Floyd Money Mayweather. One of one piece.
One of one.
Money team.
Can we see it on him?
Yes, sir.
That one of one.
$1.8 million.
It's a one of one. I love that.
Things got even more complicated when former UFC fighter and analyst Chael Sonnen revealed some uncomfortable facts. He said that the Mayweather vs. McGregor fight wasn't as big of a financial hit as it seemed. Sonnen, who was there covering the event, pointed out that many of the empty seats were filled with people just to make the crowd look full, something that Mayweather's PR team had arranged. Before Floyd became Money Mayweather, he was already struggling with serious financial problems. Reports showed he was facing jail time for unpaid taxes and had to borrow $2 million just to cover part of his debt and avoid prison. This wasn't the story of a financial mastermind. It was the tale of a man on the edge.
Me and Eric B were at, from Eric B and Rakim, we were at the Mondrian. Floyd Mayweather was there. He had some tax issues. He was about to go to jail, but that's before Money Mayweather, that's Pretty Boy Floyd.
Got you.
He was speaking to E. He needed a couple of $1 million to stay out of jail. I called my man Neil, who I was rocking with heavy. He owned Scunty, the hair accessory company. Everybody thought I was crazy. They said, yo, loan me $2 million. I want to sign Floyd. He flew out, loaned me the $2 million. And from there on, we were in the boxing business.
The numbers tell a different story. At one point, Floyd reportedly owed the IRS a massive $22.2 million. For someone who bragged about being the wealthiest athlete in the world, that kind of tax debt raises serious questions. It suggested that his flashy lifestyle might have been more of an illusion than fans ever realized.
Floyd Money Mayweather up until recently didn't have any money, so Floyd is the highest earning athlete in his career, making over $1.1 billion. And after making a killing, he ended up retiring in 2017. However, he dug himself into a hole after making super lavish purchases like this LA mansion. It was so bad that he actually owed $22.2 million to the IRS, which made him have to come out of retirement to pay that back. Like and follow for more.
Even rapper 50 Cent, who was once close to Mayweather, spoke out about it. In interviews, he shared how Floyd had wasted money on everything from jewelry to gambling, which eventually left him financially strained. According to 50 Cent, Mayweather's decision to start fighting YouTubers wasn't a choice. It was a desperate need for money. He was risking his legacy just to make a quick buck.
I believe that Floyd Mayweather has gone completely broke. And not just broke, but millions and millions of dollars in debt. And I know it sounds crazy to some of you out there, but trust me, I have legitimate proof. Watch this.
He asked me to help him, so I could stop them from using TMT as their logo right now. Because
you wouldn't do that because y'all cool again.
Yeah, I'm just not chasing it. But to be honest with you, I incorporated TMT in Delaware while he was incarcerated. Because he didn't sign the paper doesn't mean the corporation is invalid. So I could actually, technically it trademarks the term of it because his entire corporation is built on it. So I could tell you, you can't have TMT socks. You can't have that TMT shirt you got on. He don't understand that because he's just not. I just said it and he won't be able to figure out that I could do that.
Damn, you and this guy, man. I thought y'all was good again.
We are good. I just don't understand why he having the conversation. How am I coming up in conversation? I don't even care about what they're doing.
So there's still some static.
No, it only happens when it's fight time.
Got it.
It's time to build some type of energy or some sort of press. Right. It's time to make a fight, and then that happens.
So through the BX Fight Club, you met someone,
Isaac, right? Because they had to legalize it on paper to turn it into like a dark show, like when they don't have television involved with a boxing event. Even Floyd, when you make yourself like we got issues or you're angry, he's still the best fighter out there. Until somebody beat him, that's who he is.
Do you think he should step back in the ring?
I think he got to right now because the money gone.
So the money's really gone?
Yeah, that's what you think. It's get the money, spend the money.
Another boxing legend, Oscar de la Hoya, also spoke up, urging Floyd to stop embarrassing himself. He stressed that legacy should matter more than chasing fame. De la Hoya's comments echoed what many others had been thinking. Floyd needed to step back before he ruined the reputation he spent decades building.
Floyd Mayweather fought another exhibition against Gotti last Saturday. A real the crowd booing in the arena at the end. But in the middle of the second round, Floyd literally had the referee swapped out. He didn't like that the referee told him to stop hitting behind the head. Floyd is used to having the refs do whatever he wants, and he wasn't getting his way this time. It was so embarrassing. Floyd, you're 50 years old. You're a legend in the sport. I've stood up for you in countless interviews, including Shannon Sharp's podcast last week. But you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions. I know life is hard. I know life is expensive. But come on, dude, put your legacy first. Nobody wants to remember you like this. And it gets worse. Your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami. And many are saying you're gonna have to sell off your assets. I hate seeing this happen, bro.
When reports came out that Floyd had donated to homeless shelters in Los Angeles, it briefly earned him some praise. However, that praise quickly turned to confusion when he posted on Instagram from Dubai, which didn't match up with the timeline of the donation. This raised a big question. Was he trying to fix his image? If so, it backfired, making people doubt his credibility. Things got even worse when Gervonta Davis, once mentored by Mayweather, dropped a bombshell. Davis claimed that Mayweather wasn't on a world tour as he'd said, but was actually being held hostage in Dubai over unpaid debts, especially for luxury jewelry and items. This shocking accusation rocked fans and completely contradicted Mayweather's version of events.
Let's talk about this picture of Mayweather in Dubai that's going viral. Here's the backstory. According to Gervonta Davis, Floyd Mayweather is being held hostage in Dubai over unpaid debts. Boxing agent Rick Glazer confirmed Davis's comments by saying Floyd is desperately trying to work things out with Dubai's court system. And that's why my comment, blink twice if you're stuck there, on this post is getting a lot of attention. Mayweather still hasn't addressed the situation, so stay tuned.
While Floyd posted photos and stories claiming to be on a global tour, Gervonta Davis insisted that he was actually stuck in Dubai until his debts were settled. This only fueled more suspicion about Mayweather's finances. To cover up the truth, Floyd kept insisting he was on a world tour, but Davis exposed the lie, revealing that Floyd was trapped in Dubai due to unpaid debts. In a desperate attempt to save face, Floyd exaggerated claims like owning 62 buildings worth $42 million. But that story only further tarnished his reputation.
Turns out that the rumors were true and Floyd Mayweather has been trapped in Dubai for the last 50 days. Gervonta Davis was the first to claim it. Now multiple insider sources have confirmed that he is in fact trapped in Dubai for a debt that has nothing to do with boxing. After doing a little digging, it seems that someone in his camp while he was shopping for jewelry in Dubai stole one of the pieces, got away with it, and then blocked all communication with Mayweather. Since then, Floyd has already paid for the jewelry, but they refuse to let him go until they get their piece back. And allegedly, this guy right here is the thief that started this whole mess.
That's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned for the next one.